In the past 2 years, we have seen the war in Gaza almost no end in sight. It is almost, well, over now. If we watch the news, Israel will get to control 53% of Gaza, and Hamas will return everyone they kidnapped from 2 years ago, October 7th. And the IDF will pull out from Gaza. So many people I have seen, they're now pro Hamas, pro Palestine, even in the West. The problem is, again, ignorance. I have met a Muslim who followed debates online, and he told me if the Quran says the land belongs to Israel, then he would rather be an atheist. Can you imagine? He's not a devout Muslim or anything. As a matter of fact, actually, he drinks alcohol. But when it comes to Palestine, a lot of Muslims, they don't think. They just go by what they feel. Just like Black Lives Matter, just like the woke people, just like LGBTQ plus. They go, they follow their feelings, how they feel. They're not using their common sense, they're not using the fact. They don't care about the facts. But today, I want to show you the facts from the Quran and the Bible, who the land belongs to. Surah Al-Araf, Quran chapter 7, let us read from 133, verse 133. Yusuf Ali. So we sent plagues on them, wholesale death, locusts, lice, frogs, and blood. Signs openly self explained, but they were steeped in arrogance, a people given to sin. Who is this? We sent upon them. Who is them here? The Egyptian. Let's continue. Every time the penalty fell on them, they said, O Moses, on your behalf, call on thy Lord in virtue of his promise to thee. If thou wilt remove the penalty from us, we shall truly believe in thee, and we shall send away the children of Israel with thee. So the Egyptians said, if you stop this plague, we let you guys go. The Israelites, the children of Israel, will be freed. Let's continue. Verse 135. But every time we removed the penalty from them according to a fixed term which they had to fulfill, behold, they broke their word. So every time God stopped the plague, and then again, the Pharaoh, the Egyptians, changed their mind. They did not let them go. Verse 136. So we exacted retribution from them. We drowned them in the sea because they rejected our signs and failed to take warning from them. So this is very clear. This is when the Egyptians went after the children of Israel, went after the Israelites, and they drowned. This is very important. This verse is very important. Surah Al-Araf, verse 137. And we made a people considered weak, inheritors of lands in both east and west, lands whereon we sent down our blessings. The fair promise of thy Lord was fulfilled for the children of Israel because they had patience and constancy. And we leveled to the ground the great works and fine buildings which Pharaoh and his people erected. The people considered weak. Who are these people? The Israelites, because they were the slaves. God or Allah in this context, said they are the inheritors of the lands in both east and west. Land where Allah had sent down the blessing. The fair promise of Allah for the children of Israel. So that land is the promised land according to Surah Al-Araf, verse 137, the promised land inherited by the children of Israel after the slavery in Egypt. Let us continue with Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 20 to 26. And this chapter, Al-Ma'idah, verse 20 to 26, will give a little more information. Let us read. As usual, Yusuf Ali. Remember, Moses said to his people, O my people, call in remembrance the favor of Allah unto you, when he produced prophets among you, made you kings, and gave you what he had not given to any other among the peoples. First, we have to understand the people here. His people is the Israelites, of course. Moses talked to the Israelites. O my people, call in remembrance of the favor of Allah unto you when he produced prophets among the Israelites. So Moses saying prophets only comes from the Israelites. And he, Allah, made the Israelite kings. And sometimes in different translation, let's say Sahih International, the translation became made you possessors. Possessors of what? We go back to Surah Al-Araf, verse 137, possessor of the lands. As you can see, when you continue reading this verse, and gave you what he had not given to any other peoples. So God does not give this one thing to any people. Any peoples, like the Chinese, the Germans, the Koreans, Malaysians, Ethiopians. What Allah doesn't give to these people? Land. Again, the answer is land. Because everywhere we can find gold and water. A lot of things, a lot of lands has gas or oil or any riches or maybe good for agriculture. But one thing, God gave Israel, and to Israelis only, the land. If you are Christian, you can understand it's easy why. Because God wants our Messiah to be born from people who have a fixed land, not a nomad. I hope you understand my explanation until now. Let us continue. Verse 21. O my people, enter the holy land which Allah hath assigned unto you. Enter not back ignominiously, for then will you be overthrown to your own ruin. So Moses said to his people, the Israelites, he told them to enter the land that Allah had assigned for the Israelites. Verse 22. They said, O Moses, in this land are a people of exceeding strength. Never shall we enter it until they leave it. If they leave, then shall we enter. The Israelites are so scared because they say, there are cruel people in there. We cannot enter it. We will enter it when or if they leave. Once they leave, we enter. Verse 23. Among Allah feared men were two, on whom Allah has bestowed His grace. They said, assault them at the gate. Once you are in, victory will be ours. But on Allah put your trust if you have faith. These two men are not named, but we'll check later on. Verse 24. They said, O Moses, while they remain there, never shall we be able to enter. To the end of time, go thou with thy Lord and fight you two, while we sit here. The Israelites still scared, except those two men, but the one who are not named. Verse 25. He said, O my Lord, I have power only over myself and my brother, so separate us from these rebellious people. Verse 26. Allah said, therefore will the land be out of their reach for 40 years. In destruction they will wander through the land, but sorrow thou not over these rebellious people. So Allah punished them. They are wandering in the land for 40 years, but they will not enter the promised land, the Holy Land. And again, this Holy Land, in Islam, there are three Holy Lands: Makkah, Medina, and Jerusalem. And of course, when we read something Holy Land, even though it's not named, you don't need to be a Muslim scholar to know this Holy Land is Jerusalem. So especially Jerusalem is for Israel. And when the Israelites refused to enter it, they got punished. Imagine that. This is when you read Exodus chapter 7 to chapter 11, you can see the plagues that was mentioned a little bit in Surah Al-Araf. Numbers, in the book of Numbers, chapter 14, this is when the Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron. They say, look at this. Let us read. If only we had died in Egypt or in this wilderness. Why is the Lord bringing us to this land only to let us fall by the sword? Our wives and children will be taken as plunder. Wouldn't it be better for us to go back to Egypt? And they said to each other, we should choose a leader and go back to Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron fell face down in front of the whole Israelite assembly gathered there. Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had explored the land, tore their clothes and said to the entire Israel assembly, the land we passed through and explored is exceedingly good. If the Lord is pleased with us, He will lead us into that land, a land flowing with milk and honey, and will give it to us. Only do not rebel against the Lord and do not be afraid of the people of the land, because we will devour them. Their protection is gone, but the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid of them. This Bible passage is much clearer than the passage in the Quran we read earlier. And when we jump to Numbers, also the same chapter, chapter 14, verse 30 to 33, let us read. Not one of you will enter the land I swore with uplifted hand to make you home, except Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua son of Nun. As for your children that you said would be taken as plunder, I will bring them into enjoy the land you have rejected. But as for you, your bodies will fall in this wilderness. Your children will be shepherds here for 40 years, suffering for your unfaithfulness until the last of your bodies lies in the wilderness. So everyone get punished. They don't get to enter the promised land. Forget Jerusalem, not even Israel. From the Bible and from the Quran, it is very clear who the land belongs to. When I was talking to a Muslim at work, I said, if I give you this cell phone, whether you leave your cell phone, the one I gave you, whether you leave the cell phone in the cafeteria or in the locker room, the cell phone is yours. This cell phone should not be taken by anyone else, because I give the cell phone to you, for you. If you forgot it in the cafeteria, nobody has the right to take it away from you. If they do, it means they are the thieves. Anyone steals it is a thief. The same as Israel or Jerusalem in this case. The land is a promised land given by God. So if you believe in Quran, or if you believe in the Bible, let us stick with what is written in those books. Unless, if you're an atheist, if you don't believe in any of these books, then don't worry about it. Thank you for watching and listening. Whether you're Muslim or Christian, God bless you all. Have a nice life.